Hello, wonderful traders. Dadas here, speaking to you from the Dadas trading room on the Discord platform, to which you are sincerely invited. I invite everybody. The link to this channel is below in the descriptions. The link is a permanent link. It takes you to the web application of the Discord platform, where you can log in to my Dadas trading room, and then you of course can use can log into the Dadas trading room through the program app or from the Android app or whatever mobile app that Discord is available for. Okay, today of course the daily recap, and I'm going to talk about, as usual, about the DAX 30 German index. Basically today it was a very good market, I have to say. A very good market. However, I wasn't able to take advantage of it to the extent that I would like to, for a few reasons, not necessarily associated with the market itself. However, basically we see that basically the market was bullish all day, right? And even though the range, the daily range was pretty high, 650 pips, well, the market was slow, relatively slow, and you can even see that by the ATRs, that basically today the ATR on the M15 basically didn't reach higher than about 36 perhaps at some moment, so 36 pips. And you see right now it's 26 pips around. Well, that's the kind of volatility that was present regularly on this market before this whole crisis stuff, and before the change of the volatility. So we can clearly see that the market opened with a gap, this time the gap upwards, and then it continued up, and only here on the beginning of the Frankfurt and the London sessions, it consolidated and gave signals for short. Well, that's exactly what I did. I utilized these signals and I went short right there. Now let's zoom it in a bit. It's going to be better. So basically what I was looking at here is that I was trying to figure out which context of the DS, because this is a DTRM trade, so it's not a DSWS trade but a DTRM. So let me do this. I'll tell you in a moment why. Well, sorry, I just wanted to delete this one. Oh shit, no. Okay, I managed to do that. Okay, so basically I wanted to use only the Dadas trade ruler, and I measured it out like this. So I measured it out like this. Now if anybody was watching Sunday with the Dadas trading system, I'm sorry it's only in Polish right now, a movie that I filmed that last 3 hours. I mean, it takes too much for me to record 3 hours in Polish and then 3 hours in English. Sorry. But I can perhaps think of another. If there is enough English speakers right here on my on this Dadas trading room, then I will have to figure out something else and perhaps make another day. Like, I don't know, maybe it's gonna be Saturday in English. In English, it could be Saturday with Dadas trading system, and in Polish it is Niedziela with Niedziela z Dadas trading system. Anyway, so yeah, So basically, I was talking, saying on Sunday, explaining that the best price for entering would be at the level of this yellow line, right? However, because markets are different, I mean they always change, right? So the markets will not always give us a good opportunity to get in at the price of the yellow line. So basically, with this measure of the data trade ruler, the best price to get in was right there, because that's where we had the yellow line, and the yellow line was trending down. However, what I like to see is a confirmation. So I like to see this thicker red line, and then I can have more confirmation that the market is in a bearish trend at this moment, right? So I have all the other symptoms. I have like a double top, attempts to another pullback up, right? And so then that's why I have a double top, and then I see reds, right? So I say, okay, so there's a possibility for a retest, a pullback or a retrace or whatever we call it, or perhaps a correction down, right? And we never know how far it's going to go, right? So I measured it out, and I decided to get in right there, because if I had missed this opportunity, then I would have missed the whole move. So was there an element of fear of missing out, the FOMO element? Maybe, I don't know. Well, anyways, I did what I was supposed to do. I trailed what I usually do. I trailed my stop right there when this candle was already closed, and then on the opening of this candle, the price first started moving up, and it started behaving very slowly, very calmly, and on the second move back up, I decided to get out. So I got out of this trade. I got 23 pips around, and that's it. And you see that the price moved back up. We could have gotten in, perhaps I could have been, what do you call it? I forget what it's like in English. Set myself up. I could set myself up here for hunting, for a good price, simply, right? Hunting for a good price. But, however, psychologically, I'm not used to this type of trading. I'm used to this type of trading. Whether it's good or not, it's probably better to do this type of trading. So, in other words, we get a better price, and then we get, we get the take profit, actually. So that would have been, more pips than those 23, because that would have been like around 40 or 35 perhaps, or 36, right? So anywhere on this candle, any price up to the yellow line, we should look at the middle price here of the yellow line. Well, that would have been a minimum 35 pips, because that would have been easy. So 35 pips, it's 12 pips more than 23, right? So yeah, so if the market, if I had gotten in somewhere up there, right, then the potential was wow. All of a sudden, the potential was 77 pips, right? Okay, but I'm not yet, psychologically I'm not yet ready for that, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, what happened next? Well, the next trade right there, only 3.4 pips. This time it was a DSWS trade. So it was simply clicking right here, right? Clicking right here. Okay, I'll tell you about it in a moment. Okay, now there's gonna be a problem. No, I can do it like this. I can do this. I can do that. Okay, and now delete the DTRM. No, because it's a bearish candle, so I have to do it here. I have to do it like this. Okay, now I have this deleted. Okay, so I measured it out like this, right? Typical measurement for the DSWS, and here we have the breakout, right? We have some kind of a breakout. We have a pullback, and there is a trend. The trend is standing behind us, right? So we have a trend behind us, and that's why I figured out I would get in right there. So I got in basically at the close price of this candle. Okay, very nice. Now what happened right here? Well, this candle wasn't closed yet, but it was moving nicely up, and I think it was already somewhere around this level. So I decided to put my trail stop exactly where I usually put it, because at this moment I didn't get in at a very good price. I should have gotten in somewhere below right there. And basically that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about getting in somewhere right here, but that was I'm pretty hesitant on entering on opposite movement, because basically this is opposite movement, right? So I guess this is the most difficult part of trading, of knowing when to get in on the opposite movement, but in the trend, on the opposite trend, right? So in other words, in bullish trend on the opposite movement, price movement. Yeah. So basically, then I would have been able to trail my stop to the R2 line, and then then continue trailing to R3, and then the take profit would have been right there. Anyways, because maybe maybe I'm not very accurate right now. Yeah, this was more accurate like before, because then you see my take profit is exactly where it's supposed to be, and yeah. So, and you see, and I trailed it, but the market moved back, and I took out my trading stop, and then nicely moved on, right? Then nicely moved on, and I would have gotten more pips right there, and perhaps even possibly my take profit. But I was angry at this. Well, I can't do anything about it. However, what I figured out, one good thing I figured out today, was that I thought to myself, well, I have my DSWS, the Dada Secret Weapon Strategy, right? I have my Dada's trade ruler. Now, why shouldn't I do it? Instead of working with one hand, why can't I try working with two hands at the same time? Right? I mean, I got two very good tools, right? So I thought to myself like this: okay, so let's implement that on one template, on one chart. And then I can do this, right? I can do this. I can find myself the DSWS consolidation, right? Yeah, like this. Yeah. I can do it like this. Then I can, I got the pivot. I also added here a label that shows me the distance of this of between the two lines, the R1 and the S1 line. So I can know the width of the consolidation, right? I compare it with the ATRs, and then I should tell you that yeah, the ATRs were somewhere around that at that moment, perhaps somewhere around, maybe not exactly, maybe a little bit lower, but yeah, something about that. Well, at least I know one thing. I got this consolidation right here, yeah? So now in consolidations we don't know the trend. It's as simple as that. It's futile. Resistance is futile. Anyway, it's futile to try to figure out what the trend is in a consolidation. Because a consolidation, by definition, is a range where there is more or less an equilibrium of buyers and sellers, and that's why there is a consolidation. That's why there is liquidity. Liquidity because both sides of the market. So if you think that liquidity is right there, then you're absolutely wrong. A trending rally is because there isn't liquidity. A rally is when there is a strong disproportion between buyers and sellers, or supply and demand, right? Or demand and supply, right? So, and a consolidation is when there is more or less the same number of buyers and sellers. So the buyers have the other side of the transaction, and the sellers have the other side of the transaction, so they can trade there, yeah. But buyers and sellers are not retail traders like us. Buyers and sellers are physical buyers and sellers, not retail CFD traders. So yeah, when I'm saying buyers and sellers, I mean physical buyers and sellers. The guys in the bank that have packets of orders that they have to put into the market. So yeah, so what can I do now? Where can I see the trend? Well, first of all, I see the trend right there. I mean, the first sign of the trend is right there, because I have a breakout, a bullish breakout, and I have a retest which is supported on the pivot line. What is the pivot line? The pivot line, as by definition, is the line around which price oscillates. It's like a pivot in a wheel, right? A pivot is the center of the wheel, and the wheel turns around the pivot, right? The same thing is with the price pivot. The pivot is the price around which the market oscillates until it gets out of that range of oscillation, and then shows us that there is more demand here than supply, right? There is more demand here than supply. It makes another breakout, and here I can use my DTR, right, data trade ruler, and I can make a trade because I have the trend behind my back, right? I have the trend behind my back already. And when I have the trend behind my back, the probability that the price is going to move further up or further in the direction of the trend is much bigger than when there is no trend behind our back. Yeah. So you see the elements right there. So the trend lines themselves are not the single decisive factor, but they are one of the factors that has to be in what you call them in confluation. Is that the right word? Something like that. Yeah. So there has to be a confluation of, or a confluence. I have to check that word. Of specific factors, right? Of specific situations, of specific facts, market facts, not opinions, but market facts, right? I'm not saying that I think that the price is going to go up here, or that I think that the price is going to go down here. I'm saying I don't know whether the price is going to go up or the price is going to go down, right? But I'm looking for all the factors that come together at one point, which gives me the best option here to get it. So what I was talking, what was I talking about? I mean, I got disrupted right now by somebody calling me on the Discord server. Anyways, I have to come back here. I was talking about this situation where I decided to combine both weapons and to strengthen my power, right? My dynamics. So, like you see, I can right now use the WS to measure out, let's say, a major context of the market for today, or for the specific day, and then I can trade the specific levels, right, and the specific breakouts. For example, I could have even traded this breakout, and then when the price returned here, I could have gone up, right, or I could also traded this, right, where I have the trend behind me, because right there, well, you know, at this level right here, I don't have the trend behind my back. I don't have the trend behind my back, so I might be, you know, at this moment I could be reluctant to go long because I say I don't know, yeah. But I have a signal right there. I have a signal right there. I have a breakout right there. I have a specific time, and I have the trend behind my back. So again, I can trade, right? And you see that at this moment the market, the DAX market behaved. This is a typical behavior of the DAX market at certain conditions. I mean, at least this behavior used to be typical before the crisis, but right now it's coming back. Right now it's coming back. A typical movement at the very end of the day. At the very end of the day, when there is nothing much happening, right, and the market all of a sudden starts to like unloading, and it's, well, usually it like to make 20-40 pips. Now at this kind of ranges, it made 128 pips over, because even more up there, yeah. But yeah. So basically, in this situation, we see that when the market reached the R5 line, then this context is no longer the proper context. So you have to find the next proper context, which would be the next consolidation, right? And we have the next consolidation right there. and we have a breakout from this consolidation, right? We have a pullback, and we have the trend behind our back. And what does the market do right here? It goes up to the R4 level, consolidates for a while, goes up all the way up to the R5 level again. Yeah? Does it have to be like that all the time? Well, I can't guarantee anything. I mean, like, I was telling somebody recently, I'm not telling you here, I'm not giving you any financial advice. Nope. I'm not telling you when to sell or when to buy or even when to withhold. I'm only telling you here how to use my tools. I'm showing you how it is possible to use my tools in order to tip the scales in your favor, right? To tip the scales in your favor. That's all. I'm not promising anybody anything, because I cannot be responsible for how you're going to use it and what you're going to do. However, I can help you by showing you how to properly use my tools, and of course by offering you those tools, right? Okay, so that's I don't know if I told you about this last trade that I made. Well, basically that's how I made this trade, right? So by measuring out the DSWS, right? This was a DSWS trade, not a DTR trade, right? So basically, but it's not a very big difference really. So basically, what I did in this situation was, I think I measured it out like this. So I measured it out in the typical way, where I was trying to find some kind of a breakout level, and then I found this breakout level right there, and then I decided to go in long. Of course, the situation right here wasn't very good, because I didn't really have the trend behind my back, and the market also moved back a little bit, right? You can see that clearly, that the market moved here. The market moved back. Oops! Now it's going to jump again. Oh yeah, because it's still moving a bit. Yeah. So the market moved back a bit here, but then it started going up again. It started going up again, and then it started stopping. So I decided to trail my stop, and as usually I got my trading stop right there. Yeah. Well, basically, I think I did it. I did the right thing, because the market again moved back, and then later on it continued. But that's why was that? Why didn't the market move up at that moment? Well, that's pretty simple, because the trend wasn't behind my back yet, right? When the trend is behind your back, then then everything is more clear. And also another thing here was the elliptic line right here, my own idea, my own elliptic line, which was at this moment resistance, right? So exactly, this elliptic line was resistance. So basically this trade actually wasn't a very good trade, because, or at least it was as good as a trend as it could have been. It got exactly the amount of pips that it should have gotten, right? Because in order to get more pips, I would have to get in at the level of the yellow line, and then I would get 30 pips instead of 9.6. That's the difference. That's the difference between entering at a good price and entering at a bad price, right? I actually entered here at a bad price, and I didn't have much of a trend behind me. So you see, when there is a trend behind your back, then entering at a good price, right? A trend behind your back, then entering at a good price always gives better results. I mean, always, not always, but usually is going to get you better results, because, like I said, I can't guarantee anything, right? I can't guarantee anything other than, we are trying to strengthen our probability of success. That's all we are doing. We're trying to heighten or increase our probability of success. So tip the scales to our advantage, at least a little bit, right? Whatever we can. And so what is the advantage, or what are the advantages? Well, the advantages are, like I said, are a consolidation zone with a strictly defined pivot, then the breakout from this consolidation zone, and the trend behind our back. Again, because it jumped back. So a consolidation zone with a strictly defined pivot, a breakout from the consolidation zone, and a pullback supported by a trend. So with a trend behind our back, and that gives us a higher probability of success. Also entering at a good price, because entering at a high price, or in other words, entering buying at a high price gives us less. Buying at a low price makes sense, right? Buying at a low price makes sense. See? Okay. That's it for today. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that more people join my Discord server, especially people from other countries and not just from Poland, right? Because I would like to spread this news around to people, to English-speaking people. Also, of course, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel you have both Polish and English films, right? So just all you have to do is just look around. Of course, press the notification bell so that it would notify you when my films appear. Also, like I say, you can join my Discord server. You will be able to see films. Well, there are more films in Polish, but the daily recap films are. I try to produce them every day, together with the Polish film. So first I record the Polish video, and then I record the English video. For the moment right now I didn't have much reason to record any other films in English, because I didn't have people interested in trading who would be speaking to me in English. So basically, if right now I'm gonna get more people speaking in English, I'll be thinking of making other videos in English too. Also, I encourage you to become my patron on patreon.com/Dadas Trading System Workshop. For as little as $17 per month, you will get access to the special room here, which is called Dadas Trading System Workshop Room. and there are more channels in that room, but those channels are only available for the for VIPs. Where for the moment I've been making longer videos, like 2-3 hour videos on Saturdays, which are especially dedicated to VIPs. I've been making videos on demand, so somebody asked me to cover a topic, and I covered that topic in a special video for only for patrons. What else? Well, there is this film I'm making that's called Sunday with the Dallas Trading System. It also usually is around a 3-hour film, but so far I've been making those films only in Polish. So basically I think that if there is a demand for the English version, then I would have to do it on Saturday, I guess, because well, it's kind of impossible. Oh, it's kind of difficult to make 2-3 hour videos during one day. But not impossible for me, but yeah, but difficult. Okay, so good. So yeah, all the links, you'll find all the links below in the description. Otherwise, thank you for today. I hope you are all well and you're keeping well and keeping, sanitized. And let's hope that the whole thing will come back to normal. So have a great day and see you next time.